Last time out in the Rise to Glory, we were promoted as champions from League 2. Unfortunately, I have noticed that Brackley Town have been relegated from the National League, so they're no longer there. And in fact, we've ticked out of the season, we can see where they're expected to finish after being relegated, and it's straight down to 7th. So hopefully this is not a season they struggle to get promoted, and hopefully they'll be able to do well. George Sanders from Independent Centre. Okay, I did not know that. That is so weird to me that they got George Sanders. How has this happened? So he starts at Villarreal, goes to Espanyol after Tor Levante, goes on loan, goes to Villarreal again, goes to Levante, and then just goes to Colombia for 11 years. Wow, that is so weird. What a strange choice for manager. And he actually can manage because he's English as well. Okay, I did not know this. Suddenly, my mind's been blown because of this guy becoming their manager. I love this. I love that George Sanders is their manager and that he's English, Colombian and Spanish at the same time. What a weird world we live in, eh? But yes, Brackley Town relegated and they're expected to finish in 7th place. So in the Cups, Gateshead won the FA Trophy, we won the Papa John's Trophy, City won the Community Shield, Arsenal won the League Cup, City won the FA Cup, and they also won the Premier League. But now we're in League 1, where we expected to finish now that the season's ticked over. Well, straight away, we're actually expected to be in 16th place, which actually is a lot better than I was expecting. And I can't even be upset, so that's a good thing. Cannonier is the best striker in League 1. Good lord, this guy is going to be tough to keep around, isn't he? I don't think I'm getting him back. But anyway, we're going to go forward to the 12th of August and we're going to see who's here, who we've brought in, and who has been sold, because I want to do a rebuild effectively of the squad, because I only see 4 people and I want to keep in the squad, and that's these 4 players: Lewis Ward, Clarkson, Bellingham and Cannonier. And I don't think I'm able to keep Cannonier. Everyone else we can either sell, let their loan spells be terminated, or just let their contracts expire. That's how I feel about most of these people. Though Beck I would like to keep, but I don't think he will be able to sign for us either. But either way, I'll be back for when we're at the first game of the league season. I'll see you guys in a bit. So, we're now at the 9th of August. I'm going to go over every single signing that I have made, and we're going to talk about why we have brought these people in, because I think this is a good squad. And I feel like I've made some really good deals, and we could do a lot of good things. So, let's go over who we've brought in so far. First and foremost, though, I should talk about the players I actually released, and I released quite a few players. So, I released Lee Burge. I didn't think he was good enough for what we needed in League 1 as a backup goalkeeper. Jordan Garrett I released because even though he could be a 3-star player, I just didn't like the wages he was on, and I didn't think he was good enough for what we had and what we we're looking for. Jordan Moore Taylor, I released him. He's now at Wrexham. He just didn't want to sign for us, or knew his contract at the time, and I thought, you know what, you can go. I don't care about you. I think he's being paid less money there at Wrexham than he was being paid at us, so that's awkward. We released Corey O'Keefe because he wanted to leave and was just going to run out his contract anyway, so he's gone. Lewis Baines we released because I didn't think he'd be good enough for us. He's now at Mansfield. Murphy Bennett, we released him. He's now at Salisbury, which I think tells you how good he is. Zane Myers, we released him. He's now at Maidstone, which again tells you just how good the guy is. I released Rio Grant because I didn't think he'd be good enough, and he's wanted by Reading United, so again, tells you how good he is. And Harvey Barker I have released because I just don't think he's going to be good enough for me in long term, and I don't think he's going to get the first team football he needs to develop, so he's no longer with us at the club. So signings, I have signed Jaden Warner as the first player for my list. He doesn't like being matches, it's a big red thing. He's inconsistent, but I just signed him for a free transfer and we're paying him just 1.9 grand a week. I feel like it's a good deal. He was released by Norwich and it just made sense to bring him in. No, I'm not going to use him as a right back. I'm using him as a centre back, and I think with his pace, he could be very, very good for us. Even if his first touch isn't great, but we're not going to use him as a ball-playing defender. We're using him as a centre back, so I think he's good for this division. I really do. Then I signed Finley Carr on loan from Arsenal, our parent club, for absolutely nothing. So we're not paying a single penny to use him in our first team, and he's quite good for League One. And he's only 18, so he could be really good in the long term. And I think we could make use of his ability. Even if he's not the best with tackling and positioning, I think for what we're looking for in a DM position, in a deep line playmaker, he fits the mold quite nicely. I also signed Jude Smith on a free transfer as a goalkeeper. He wanted to be a first choice goalkeeper. I'm probably going to have him as a backup, but he's also 22. He could always be better. But it's nice to have someone of this quality with us, even if I don't plan on using him as a first choice, even though I've literally agreed to sign him as my first choice goalkeeper. It gives Lewis Ward some competition. I then signed Hayden Coulson as our left back and wing back on attack on both versions. Perfect. I needed someone of that quality. Yes, he doesn't like big matches. Yes, he's 27, but I think he's the oldest signing I've made, and that says a lot about what I was looking for in this transfer window. He's still really good for what I'm looking for, even if my backroom team think he's only a decent player for this division. He's been at Middlesbrough for so long in his career that I might as well give him a shot, right? I then signed Jusuran Raksaki on loan from Crystal Palace, and we're paying him just £325 a week, so it's a cheap loan deal from our point of view, and it just makes sense to bring the guy in, honestly. I can get in on a cheap deal. Why not? I then signed Colin Turner on a free transfer and was able to loan him out to Rochdale, which I'm a bit surprised they've agreed to loan him and they've actually agreed to make him a starter, but he's playing as a DM. They're paying him about half his wages, but it's only half a season, so if things don't go well, we could always bring Colin Turner back. He's more of a long-term prospect, but I think we can make a profit from him long-term, and he's got decent value for an 18-year-old, so it just makes sense in my mind. Then we signed James Nolan on a loan deal for Manchester United where we're paying just £160 a week. Again, very good deal for us. He's a good player for his division, he's consistent, and as far as I'm aware, it just makes sense to bring the guy in. Then we signed Tawanda, and I just think he's good as a free transfer, inverted winger, on attack and support. Looks good for what I'm looking for, and he's got the acceleration and pace I want. He doesn't like big matches, yes, but he's 22, he can get better, and we could probably make a profit on him, even if we're paying 4.8 grand a week for the guy. We then signed Tyler Smith on a free transfer to be a squad player. We're paying 3.2 grand a week, but at the time, he was the best striker we had, which a little concerning that's the case, but we had a striker that I was looking for, and he fit the mould. The fact he got 18 goals for Oxford United on loan a couple of years ago tells me that, yeah, he was actually good. It's just unfortunate for him, he signed for Luton for £675,000 and then barely did anything for them in the Championship. He's not a Championship player. He's definitely a League One player at best. Could be a leading League One player in the future, but I don't know. Definitely not a Championship player though. Not sure why they spent that much money on him, but I guess Luton had more money than sense. Then I signed Dara Castello on a loan deal where I'm paying 4.4 grand a week, and we're paying about 10 grand a month for his services, so that was smart. I'm paying about £110,000 for this guy in a loan fee. It's the most money we've spent on a player so far, and I think he could be decent. Issue is, he doesn't like big matches. It's a 1-year loan deal, and he's meant to be played as a striker, so might not be my best move, but I think he could be quite good as a striker. In all the attributes, he looks good. Everything is at least 9 or above, so it's not like he's the worst player I've ever gotten, but he's probably better as an inverted winger. So 2 players I've loaned that are better inverted wingers. That's awkward, isn't it? On the same side too. Then I signed Will Fish to be a centre-back for us, and released by Manchester United. He's got potential, he looks good. It made sense in my mind to bring the guy in, and why wouldn't I bring the guy in? And then I got my first striker of this window and a second loan player. Tom Bloxham, we signed on loan from Fulham this time. We're paying 6.25 grand a week, and not my smartest moment, I'll be honest with you and say that. I probably shouldn't have paid this much for him, but I thought in my mind he looks good. He got 11 goals in 33 matches for Peterborough last year, and that was in League One, so I think it could be good. He's also 6'5", and has the trait attempts overhead kicks, and he's got decent pace and decent heading, and he's 6'5", so that's a promising sign for corners. He's got 15 jumping reach and 14 strength. He's definitely a target forward, but as an advanced forward, he can absolutely play the role perfectly fine as well. I then signed Dan Happ on a transfer fee that costs us 63,000. He's also 6'5". I've now got 2 players who are 6'5" and who could be dangerous at set pieces. Difference is, this guy's slow, and he's also 26. He also hates big matches, but he's good enough for his division, and he's a consistent player. So I think the squad is now looking like a League One team at the bare minimum. He also likes to try long-range passes, so that's going to be a little awkward, isn't it? As for my last signing, we have signed Harrison Murray Campbell as another centre-back who can play as a right-back, but he's definitely a centre-back in my mind. He actually could be a decent right-back, which is the scary part about this, but I'm definitely going to be using him as a centre-back because he looks good in the role, and in my mind, it makes sense. So one of those signs that I could use in multiple positions, but he looks quite good. Even if he does have some injury problems, he is consistent, he's good for this division, and I just like him, I really do. Apparently he needs to work on something. I did forget to do something. That is good. Thank you, Money Game. Let's work on his aerial ability then. Cool. There we go. But yes, those are the signs we've made so far, and I think that should be all I plan on doing for this transfer window, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But we could always do more. So where does all of these signings leave us in the prediction table now? Where does the season preview now put us? Well, the season preview now puts us in 5th place, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't think was going to happen when I made all these signings. I thought to myself, well, okay, we'll just be a mid-table team, top half team. Nope, they say playoff. And if we could do what we did last year in League One and get Forest Green to the Championship, that might be bizarre to me, but if we can win the EFL Trophy for the 2nd year running, be the first ever team to do so, and win the league, that'd be great. I don't plan on doing that really because I don't think it's going to happen, but it is one of those things that easily could happen. And I should talk about this, but I was looking at some jobs that could have come up and nothing really got my fancy, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I could have gone to Sweden. I could have gone to a few other countries like Slovakia, Slovenia, but nothing really stood out and it didn't feel like a upgrade on what I'm doing right now. So as far as I'm concerned, Forest Green for maybe another year, unless I get offered a big interview or job that just gets my attention. So even though Canada are at the World Cup this year, I don't plan on managing them anytime soon because I just don't think that it's the right time for me to do it. Even though I could go to the World Cup with Canada, I just don't think it'll look good on my CV if anything else. So there you go. Anyway though, I'm actually going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys like and share this video and that you also subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a lot. Where do you think we'll finish in the league this year? And how far do you think we can get in the cups? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, all of that down below. But either way, until next time, goodbye and well, good night.